Good morning, afternoon, and evening, everyone. Welcome back to a fresh new episode of Knock Off the Perch, a Manchester United podcast. With the season truly over, we now turn our attention to the transfer market. Matthews Cunha already in the bag. We are two people who would never like to remain on the fence. So even though it's not official, even though we're still within the negotiation round, we will be talking about Brian Bumo today. Yes, Cameroon player from Brentford who has set the Premier League alight the last season. How have you been, Naraj? What do you make of this Brian Mbumo transfer rumors?
Yeah, I am liking the season break, to be very honest. I don't have to worry about poor Manchester United performances anymore, and you're hearing of good activity in the transfer window. So all in all, a good start. Cunha deal already done. Positive news about Bumo. I am expecting the second rounds of negotiation to be closer to what Brentford want. Probably an overall deal of somewhere between 65 pounds and 65 million pounds, and uh, 50 million plus add-ons is I think it will land up somewhere. But yeah, exciting player, very exciting player, and we will talk about that in a little bit more. Any other transfer new rumors we want to quickly address? We are hearing Garnacho will definitely go. Sancho will not become a part of the United squad. He will come back from Chelsea, but the United hierarchy is trying to find another club for him. And Delap didn't choose us. He went to Chelsea, and we are in the market for a striker. And Gyökeres rumors are heating up.
I'm not too destroyed by the Delap ones. I felt it was a repeat of Hoyland transfer wherein we are getting someone who's yet very raw, and we do need a proven goal scorer to lead the line, to lead the Manchester United line, and would want ideally want someone who's experienced, who's been scoring goals for fun. Gyökeres fits the profile. Osimhen fits the profile, but I don't think Osimhen. We're hearing any rumors. Osimhen, if anything, there are much more any rumors for him leading to Saudi than to United. You have it.
As a there was a point in time when he had priced out Saudi of a move. So I don't know what is his wage demand. But I think with the Inzaghi news being confirmed as the manager
Yeah.
of Al Hilal, and I think they want to make a couple of statement signings before the Club World Cup. Bruno obviously said no to them. So I think they will most likely get the Osimhen deal through. So in fact, that leaves the transfer market a little low on the strikers available, right? You don't have a lot of proven strikers available in the transfer window. And
I mean, Gyökeres also, there was a fight between United and Arsenal, but right now feels like Arsenal are leaning toward Sheshko. Yeah. So maybe that's where they are going, and you have to believe that with the previous connection of Gyökeres and Amarim, we do have a upper hand in the transaction. Hopefully,
I think we need a little bit of an help from our former manager Eric Ten Hag in getting this through. Whether he buys with all the Woods money that they will have, whether he buys Anthony or Garnacho or both or whatever, I don't know. We need them to give us that cash ammunition to be able to get Gyökeres. I guess.
yeah. But let's moving on to Bumo, who
Yes.
the point in question today. What does he bring to Manchester United? We all saw him in Brentford after Ivan Tony's departure. He was the main man there. A little bit about him. He comes from a League Two second division club called Troyes. Started there at the age of 14, played there till 19, then made his move to Brentford, and
Yeah.
it was a 5.5 million, 6 million move.
Yeah.
It was the second highest for Brentford after Oli Watkins, by the way.
Yeah.
Outside of football, the man is a self-trained pianist, by the way. No, he's learned to play the piano uh, from YouTube, by the way. That just gave me a bit of Alexis Sanchez PTSD.
But classy guy, no classy guy. I like people who play piano. So hopefully he can
And
bring the
I
charm to
also
United.
like him. you'd also like him more because he likes to play chess as well.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. That's the deal I think that United needs to do just because of that reason. But I think when we were reading about it, interestingly, and we've heard a lot of stories about Brentford scouting network. I think the scout who got this deal through saw 28 out of the 35
Yeah.
League Two games when they were finalizing the deal for Bumo. So I think very, very strongly scouted. And I think Brentford can be a perfect feeder club to a lot of top clubs today because of the kind of players they are bringing in. And I think just on a side note, I think Brentford will need that to work out. They could possibly have their manager who got them to the Premier League to make them stick around. Thomas Frank going to Spurs. Couple of key players leaving. Flecken is, I think, already leaving. Bumo might has leaving. So yeah, I think it will be an interesting season for Brentford as well. But I think they're pretty much our competition. We are stealing from our competition at this point in time. And what he brings to United is no doubt a lot of goals, right? He scored 20 league goals in the premiers in the previous season, 7 assists. And out of those 25 were from penalties. He has a very good penalty record as well. And 15 non-penalty goals, which was sixth best in the league. So we are getting a player who is like right up there, and we have the comparison of Cunha right in front as well, so that we know the two new players who will most likely Cunha is definitely here. Bua will also most likely come in. Then how does it compare to the players who were best in those respective stats for United in the last season? Ahmad obviously was the highest in terms of non-penalty goals. Bruno had a few penalties going for him. So if you look at just that, there's a significant upgrade in the final third, and we need that upgrade, right? We know the kind of issues we have had in our attacking department. We have seen chances being created, but goals not scored. Eric Ten Hag getting sacked because of that, and the trend just continued with Ruben Amorim as well, right?
I mean, yeah. To be honest, we have conceded almost as many goals as Arsenal did, as many goals as Aston Villa did. They scored significantly higher than us.
Correct.
That's where the major problem lies, and this might be oversimplifying it, but I still think it's the first problem United need to solve. It's not the only problem that United need to solve, but again, it's a big one because there is no faith in that department, right? There's no confidence in that department right now. Hoyland, Zirkzee, mm, both were given enough minutes to prove themselves throughout the season, but didn't prove to be worthy of leading the line. Chido Obi Martin is still quite young. So yeah, we do welcome that the two number 10s that would be joining United
Yeah.
are the ones who are like sixth and seventh highest scorer in the Premier League.
Absolutely, absolutely. But one thing that I want to talk about, and we discussed it in the Cunha video as well, where the overperformance on XG. We talked about Cunha 8.6 XG, scored 15 non-penalty goals. For Bumo, it is even higher, right? Almost double his XG he has scored. So from every point 0.5 XG that he's creating, he is scoring a goal, which can be a great thing. I just hope he doesn't sort of revert to mean in the next season that he comes in for Manchester United. But any alarm bells there?
I mean, it just shows me that the player is confident in his actions. That is one thing to see because he's shooting from positions where it is not likely to convert into a goal. That does tell me a good, but again, we have to see that for a couple of seasons to realize that this is a not a flash in the pan season sort. We saw these numbers from Harry Kane's first season. People thought he'll be a one season wonder, but
Yeah.
they they who they compare Boomer's most likely game to. They compare it to Arjen Robben because he likes to cut in like him
Yeah.
from the right and plays like him as well. So if he's half the player as Arjen Robben when he's at Manchester United, I'd be a happy person.
Exactly, exactly. And another stat that I'm really, really excited about is the expected assists. He created 8.3 assists in the season, and that was seventh best in the league, just tad bit behind Bruno, who created 8.5. Now, if we put Bruno, Cunha, and Bumo together, they are creating close to 24, 25 goals. If we have a striker up front who's finishing these goals, hopefully Bumo is finishing a few of Cunha and Bruno's chance creation. Pune is finishing few of Bruno and Bumo's chance creation. So three of them are also scoring from those chances that they're creating, but we need that one striker up front who is sort of thriving in all these chances that are being created. And so I think that Gyökeres slash whoever that striker comes in, because we know Hoyland, I think, doesn't have it in him to sort of take it to the next level. So I think that will be a critical aspect.
What I'd be more worried about when we talk about Bumo, Cunha, and Bruno would be who tracks back, because Bumo isn't known for that. In fact,
Yeah.
of all his stats, the defensive actions were the he was the worst at his defensive actions because he wasn't given that responsibility in Brentford. Brentford are a team who like to play on the transition. We'll talk about this in more in detail, but harmony and balance in the team is something I'm quite worried about if
Yeah.
we are going for all these high attacking options.
In fact, that also brings me to the point of where does it also put Ahmad in, right? Because Ahmad is
Mm.
pretty much that player in the current scheme of things we saw as the R10 player on the right side of the 10. Now, a lot of people are saying that Ahmad is probably the right wing back we are looking at. And as a right wing back, he doesn't offer a lot defensively. He will have to improve dramatically. We saw that West Ham game just before the Europa League final when Aaron Van Bissaka playing as a left back was easily able to find spaces there,
Yep.
cut the balls in. So I think if Ahmad has to move into that position, we will need a significant defensive improvement. And I just find, as you're talking about, the balance of the team will be way off. You will have a striker, Cunha, Bumo, Ahmad, Bruno, Dorgu, who likes to bombard forward. Everybody sort of focusing on the way forward, and that might leave a little bit of a defensive imbalance. So I think it's Amorim's problem to solve, but and he'll have to figure out a way to do that. Cool. So I think broadly, the we one stat that really encouraged me was the goal creating actions. He had 20 of those, which directly led to a goal that was fourth best in the league. So I think it sort of comes in with the assist potential that we're talking about. So I think all in all, if I had to sort of sum all of this up in terms of an attacking threat, in terms of somebody who will be creative, in terms of somebody who will give us goals, it's an instant upgrade on the team that we have right now.
Yeah.
And which is where it makes us very excited that we could be adding a lot of goals into our system in the next season. And hopefully he will be able to do that as he comes in.